Oh,
Hey, everybody! Welcome to this week's episode of the Dead Funny podcast. I am not going to do this nearly as smoothly or as engagingly as Chris, but welcome! I am your
undercut
host.
yourself immediately.
It's you can't see me, so Jojo can't actually see my face. But Jojo, you would have seen the doubt go across my face as I was like, "Shit, how does he start these things?"
And that's why I looked startled, is because I could not see your mouth.
And all of a sudden, I was screaming into your ear. That's fair.
Yes.
I am your host, Kelsey, and joining me is my co-host, Jojo. Our names are on the screen. I'm gesticulating the wrong direction for the way the camera is looking, but that's not the main point here.
But it's helpful for me to hear you describe what you're doing physically.
It is useful if you can actually. It is more helpful to see people than just stare at. But you do have. So the viewers don't know this, but I imagine you have my Discord profile picture that you're looking at.
Yes, which is you kind of just
Which
like,
is me like, I am just like big mouth screaming at the camera, and it's very fun.
Yes.
It makes Chris laugh every time he sees it, just because it is a lot, and it is very me.
Right, and then my Discord pictures, of course, Psyduck from the Detective Pikachu movie, which is more me than a picture of myself could ever be.
I love it too because it's zoomed in on just the eyes of the Psyduck. Like
Yeah.
it is not.
I think it's like from the first trailer of that movie where they like was like, oh, what is happening with these characters? These all look weird. Really getting close on that side of.
I love it. Did you see the movie?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I liked it more than I thought I was going to.
Me too. Yeah, I've heard very recently that apparently they just canceled a sequel to that. I don't know
Oh,
why, but they're gonna make a sequel and now they're maybe not.
I mean,
Bad.
to be fair to the canceling, I do not remember the plot of that movie at all. I just remember enjoying seeing all of the Pokemon. That's what I was there
Yes,
for.
but that's the thing. I just want them to have an excuse to spend another $100 million on like 3D weirdly realistic Pokemon.
Yeah, not feeding people who need food. Weirdly
Oh.
realistic Pokemon. That's what we want.
Well, I mean, they're gonna spend it on some movie regardless, so
That's
it may as well
true.
be that instead
Yeah.
of like Warfare.
I agree with you. So I have a question for you, Jojo. It's totally off topic, but I'm curious because
You really had a topic to begin with.
this is a better question for you than anyone else. What is the weirdest video game that you've ever played that you're willing to share on camera?
Okay. Weird in which direction? Like what
Any
kind of
direction.
weird?
Pick a direction.
There's
And you don't have
there's
to
a lot
pick
of
like
weird stuff.
the biggest one. Like you can go through. You can give me 3 or 4 answers to this. I'd actually love that.
Like okay, I have points of reference for a lot of this. Like, have you heard of? Do you know Katamari Damacy?
Yeah, no.
You're a little guy and you roll around a ball and you pick up stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so not that.
Okay.
I mean that's weird. But that guy, the same person, made another game called Nobi Nobi Boy.
Uh-huh.
That was like this collective effort. It was linked online somehow. So like every player was contributing to this thing where your little guy. I don't remember how you even played it exactly, but like you were the boy, and would consume things in the world somehow, and that would cause the girl in space to grow. And the goal was for the world altogether, real human being players, to eventually make the girl grow so long she would go around, I think, the sun or something, and then loop back to Earth. And that was it. Like it was barely a game. Like there wasn't much of a challenge to it. It was just like fuck around, make this weird girl grow, and people did it. She made it. It was like years later. I saw an article like girl makes it to Earth again. So, yeah, that's a good one.
Huh.
Also, my personal thing, I have the 20 copies of Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball is fine.
What even is that?
I mean, it's like, to actually play it is not very interesting. It's like a super game. It's got like 2 buttons of a basketball, like just shoot or pass, and just also that has a tackle button. But in the future, real NBA player Bill Laimbeer somehow who was apparently known for being like a rough dude.
Uh-huh.
I have no context for that because he was like before, and I don't care about sports. Also, I guess. Um, so in the future, he becomes the NBA commissioner and fires all the players and replaces them with robots
Mm.
so they could fight each other uh, in the NBA, which is just the most ridiculous premise I think I've heard for a game that ends up being just kind of boring.
Yeah, so you're a bunch of
No
fighting
good.
robots trying also to play basketball while
I
fighting?
think that'd be great. No, it's mostly just a mess because there's no rules. So there is like basically you can just tackle people whenever you want. So it's just knocking each other back and forth over and over to get the ball. But there's still a backcourt violation rule, like in real NBA. You can't go back to your side of the court if you're already on the, which is the only actual NBA rule still in the game. It's a weird choice.
Huh.
Yeah. Uh, Tokyo Jungle is another one I mentioned to you at some point. Really good.
Remind me of
It's
Tokyo Jungle.
it's a post-apocalyptic world where all the people are gone, and you just play as animals in Tokyo to like survive. So
Oh,
like you
yeah.
first get a little dog. You can play as like a Pomeranian, I think, and you have to go around and like hunt rabbits, Pomeranian to survive. Breed, like uh, it's presented in a very strange way, like with hyper like Final Fantasy-esque graphic stuff for like the levels going up and getting more stats and stuff. It's weird, but you can be a Pomeranian like mauling animal and growing, and you unlock more animals, and then there's like a conspiracy
And there's a
on how
conspiracy because they need a
how
conspiracy at the end
humans
of that?
why humans were wiped out. I think there ends up being some kind of
Oh.
plot you over. Those are the first things that come to mind.
God, I hope that's like it's humans didn't wipe themselves out. A Pomeranian like guiding a human to make bad decisions wiped people out. That would be so much
I don't know. I
better.
never made that far.
Oh, I think I know what game you need to pick up and play for the channel.
Yeah, at some point I really should. Yeah, that's a hard thing to access. Is the problem. They never released it on like modern consoles.
Oh
Like
no.
modern-ish. I mean, it's 15 years old now.
That's a long
PlayStation
time. How about
PlayStation isn't like backwards compatible with the
yeah,
PS3.
that's true. You've got to have an old like an old original PlayStation or something like that, PS2 lying around there somewhere.
I have a PS3 somewhere. I'd have to figure out looking it up again. So I think theoretically I should have. It's just I have to dig through some stuff.
It's a lot of effort to put in for a game that you barely remember.
I mean, the game I would like to play it if it was available easily. I would have repurchased it already. Or
God, that sounds so interesting. It does remind me, apparently there was a 101 Dalmatians 2. Like, apparently it was originally a book, and the second book, like, they couldn't use as the plot for the movie because it's really bizarre. It involves, like, humans all falling asleep and dogs of gaining the ability to communicate and then creating, like, a dog UN, and there's, like, a
wait, what?
there's, like,
That's
a
a sequel to
comet.
101 Dalmatians?
Yeah, that they did not pick up for a movie because they're like, "This is too fucking weird." Because there's, like, a comet headed towards Earth, and so dog UN and dog world leaders are trying to, like, solve the problem,
Okay.
and then the comet
Yeah.
gets close, and it turns out it's, like, a big astral dog, and it was like, "Hey, come away with me because humans are evil and don't treat you well, and we'll plunge this planet into death and despair, but I'll take you to my planet where you'll be dogs now with the ability to talk and able to do things, and it'll be great." And the dogs all chose not to and instead chose to stay with their humans because they loved them and like defeated the Astro dog and lost the ability to speak, and the comet didn't hit. Like, I know nothing about this.
That all sounds incredible.
It all sounds like a really weird ass fanfic.
Yeah. What?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Hang on. 102 Dalmatians. Uh,
The starlight barking. Here we go. Yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Like, I got some of the highlights, right? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I'm not looking at the whole thing necessarily here, but it seems like you have the general idea. Yeah, it is like they reference the same dogs from the first book. Long ago.
Yeah.
What the? Is the is there any magic shit going on in the book in the first book?
I never read any of the books, so I don't know,
Or
but
even the movie? I don't think so.
they did not make this into the movie. They didn't make this book into the
I
movie,
mean,
but
like,
yeah. I don't think
yeah,
so. I don't
I
think
wouldn't
there was
have.
any
Yeah, I
magic
don't
in the
think so.
movie.
Here.
It's something that I discovered and was like, wait a minute, what? This is
Yeah,
so weird.
that's wild. How did that happen?
See, I love when things like that happen, when somebody's known for like one thing and then you find the rest of their body of work and you're like, oh, you had one pearl and the rest of this is mud. Or like the rest of this is just batshit insane. I think like the Mary Poppins books, like I want to full put up. I don't know fully what I'm talking about, but I thought the rest of the Mary Poppins books like got really dark and like there was like physical abuse and stuff like that. Like they were not happy books, and they just like grabbed the one story where they like this one's nice and wholesome. Let's go with this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think things like that are cool personally.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of another. There's something I feel like in my mind. There's another example of that, and I'm blanking on what it is, and so never mind.
I feel like there's a couple of like famous philosophers and stuff like that who had really good work early in their career, and then by the end of their career, like they had syphilis and they were just like writing about lizard people, and it was like, all right, you are no longer at your prime.
Lizard people are great though.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm playing a video game right now in my spare time that's just like it's one of those really chill games. It's called Cozy Grove. Have you heard about it at all?
The name's familiar. I don't know what it is though.
Like, it's this super cute game, and like I'm only playing it to like spend time and relax. It is a absolutely relaxing game. You're this little person and you're running around this island, and there are a bunch of ghosts on the island, and you go and you talk to the ghosts and you help the ghosts like figure out like, oh hey, like there are things you regret in your life and this is what it is, and you like help them find closure, and then they ascend and they turn bright gold and stuff like that. I think I mentioned this recently. But I've been playing that and it's super cute, but in there is actually a like a Fox News lizard people bear. Like a like believes all the far conspiracy theories bear, and I'm just like, "Oh, buddy." And then it's great cuz my little
Yeah.
character gets to like directly confront and be like, "This isn't real." Like, no.
She lives in a world with actual ghosts. So who is she to tell the bear that he's wrong?
You know, that's a very good point because I just unlocked a new bear, and that bear is like a priest bear that was like, did you know the power ancient stones have? And I've been collecting ancient stones for Fox News Bear for a while. And Fox News Bear is like, these change things. And Priest Bear is like, they're full of my power. So it's getting weird. It's getting nice and weird on Cozy Grove Island. Just saying
Yeah.
it that way. And I was really embarrassed. I was hiding the fact that I was playing this from Scott, not because he would disapprove, but because I was like, you're gonna judge me. And then he came in and I was talking to a corn cob and he was like, okay.
Yeah, all right.
So now anytime I'm like, I want to play video games, he's like, are you gonna go play your corn cob bear game? And I'm like, yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like Animal Crossing or something. It's a nice little thing to hang out
Yeah.
with a corn cob.
Yeah, it's a cute corn cob bear. It has hoarding issues and it has to
Sure.
come to grips with that.
I don't think if I would love to see. I can't. If I Google corn cob bear, I doubt it's gonna give me a result that's helpful. But I
God.
believe
I really now
in
need
you.
to Google corn cob bear.
Google cozy growth. Be a bear, hopefully.
If you go Google corn cob bear and images, no, there are too many actual bears eating corn cobs.
Yeah, these bears are cute. These are yeah.
Yeah, they're adorable. It's a very cute distraction. It is very fun. And by fun, I mean it's just little fetch quests, and you grow things and you nurture things, and it's sweet. Like there's nothing harmful about it at all.
Well, then, no, thank you. All I want is to do harm.
I want to blow people's heads out. Like, okay, cool, good for you. I was
Oh,
going
one
somewhere
nothing.
by bringing that up. Doesn't matter. Oh, Fox News Bear. That was it.
Yes.
Yes.
You were going somewhere, and you got there.
Yay! And then I double guessed myself.
Mission accomplished.
I think the weirdest game I've played is honestly the Hotaku boyfriend game that we're playing. And that's not that
Yes.
weird. Yet. I'm under the impression it will get weirder.
Yeah, it's just like, I think when it came out, when you first mentioned it, I didn't hear you right, and so I didn't realize there was a thing I knew, but then I did know it. And I think when it came out, it was more like, oh, weird. This was like 10 years ago, and now it's normal to just make dumbass weird shit.
Yeah, dumbass dating sims and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like now we live in a world with like, there's one where you can date like human representations of World War II tanks or something.
Oh, that's right. There's like Slenderman dating sims and stuff like that.
Like it's so off the rails at this point. Birds doesn't rank, but like when it happened, it was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking through a few games like that were forerunners for their time. I think there's also some like dating sims that suddenly turn horror all of a sudden that are really shocking and surprising.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
Have you ever played any of those?
No, I mean it's not my.
I was gonna say dating sim isn't your normal cup of tea.
No, but yeah, it's out there.
Like I think I remember when the explosion of like it's not is it Goat Simulator where you run around and you like lick things and
Yeah, that's where you simulate being a goat.
I mean, no. Goats don't like stick their tongues to airplanes and then just swirl around.
I don't know that's not true.
I've never seen a goat.
So
I've never seen a goat on an airplane, and that's possibly just due to the fact that I was reading rather than looking out the window and seeing the goat swim around the airplane.
yes,
You've got a very good point, sir.
But yeah, that was Goat Simulator. That's called.
What is your go-to when you just want a video game for fun? Like, what do you really love? And I realize it changes, so feel free to give me multiple answers.
Gee, I don't know. I play a lot of Magic Gathering Arena. It's just the card game on a computer.
Like against other people, or is it just against a computer?
It's
okay.
Online. It's got have a collection of cards virtually on there.
I had no idea that you played Magic the Gathering.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
How did I not know this?
Because you maybe haven't been inside my apartment.
I have never been inside your apartment.
Yeah.
I have only heard stories of those that entered.
Didn't have people over all that much. Other people have better places, bigger spaces. More presentable. But I have a lot of cards, so they were kind of visible at times.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm under the impression that for Magic the Gathering, in real life, you go and you purchase things like card packs and stuff like that, and you may get something really great or you may not, and you actually end up spending a lot of money that way. Is that also how it works online, or do you have a better chance of finding the specific one you want?
Oh, you can open packs still. You can then sometimes get like a free wild card that you can exchange for a specific card you want. Make up for not being able to just go out and buy a specific card like you could in real life. That's the thing, like if you're a serious Magic player in real life who wants a specific card, you just go to a store, buy one that someone already opened.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option. Shows what I know.
Yeah. Because, people open the packs and then they have the cards and they're like, I don't want this card. Give it to a store and they say, I'll give you dollars based on the value, and it's fluctuating, and it's like some of them are crazy expensive and then most of them are worthless. And thousands of them that are worthless. They're here.
They're in your house.
Yes, right.
Okay, so One of my very close friends, she was super into Pokemon when she was younger, and then for her birthday a couple years ago, all she wanted to do was drink mixed drinks with me and play Pokemon. And I was like,
Okay.
okay. So I took her out and that's what we did. And I think we were judged hella hard when we were at that restaurant, which is fine. I could not care less. But we had a great time. But I had to learn because I never played any of these games. Like, you need to have a sibling to play these games or friends that live close. And I had none of those things. And so I learned from her how to play this game. And I'm wondering, you've played Pokemon, you know, like there are types you put against each other if you really want to cause damage and stuff like that. And so if you can build an entire like water deck, for example, if you want to go against
Sure.
fighter, like you can do that. Um, with that in mind, does anything like that exist in Magic the Gathering, or like help me understand?
Yes, it is not the same. It's not like a water type beat fire type, but there's 5 colors of card that you then need. Pokemon have the energy cards,
Yes.
or like right. So Magic has land that produce mana of a color. So you need
Ah.
a cards.
Okay. So in your deck, will like give me a color. Just which colors are we talking about here?
There's red, blue, green, white, and black.
Okay, great. I was going to start with purple, so I'm glad I freaking asked.
That is not one of them.
Okay. So, do you build like an entire red deck, or do you build like a red and a black deck
You
because you
can
don't know
do
what you're
either
gonna
of those
get?
things.
Oh, okay.
But you have to have the lands to support the thing, and you have to draw the lands. And so if you have like more colors of thing, you need to get more of a specific land, and you chance of getting the specific land. If you have too many different lands, now you don't want a handful of red cards, but only black mana.
Okay.
That means you can't play your cards.
Got it. So, is it safer then to just build a deck for only one color and recognize if you go up against
So,
somebody else, you may lose? Like,
there are the basic lands. There's 5 basic lands. They're just you can have as many of them in a deck as you want. Uh, each of them produces one color. Then there are non-basic lands. You can have 4 of. Some of those make 2 colors, but have some sort of downside
oh.
to offset that they're multiple colors. Like they come into play the first turn, you can't use them or something. A 2 life to play them or something. So you can print 2 colors is probably the standard. We'll do a lot of 2-color stuff mostly. They can go any direction. Do 5 if you make the deck for it.
What do you do?
They do whatever the situation presents itself. I don't know. I draft mostly, which is when you get packs and make a deck from the packs you open as you play. Like
Oh.
people pass packs around, pick a card. After you pass all them around, you have like 40 cards and make a deck out.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay,
mostly
so
what I
you've
do.
got to be really good at thinking on your feet then.
I guess.
And like figuring out how am I gonna make this work for me, or do you
Yeah.
just do you open the cards, put them down, and not look at them until you flip
Oh
them,
no.
and you're like, well,
If
shit.
you yeah, to be good at that, you need to think about. And I've just been doing it for so long that I kind of really good at it. I have a pretty good win record.
This is where we find out this is how Jojo makes his money.
No, you can't get money out of Arena. It doesn't have like real human currency.
hmm
So, but I do okay.
Now, do you go to competitions? Sorry, I
No,
yawned in the middle
never.
of that. Sorry.
Well, not anymore, or never like real competition anyway. So like when a new set would come out, you'd have like an in-store tournament, and you could win some packs.
Oh, did you ever win packs that way?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, well, that's not like impressive. There's
Oh, I was about to give
like
you laurels in my head.
no. It would be like it's like if you participate at all, they'll give you 1 pack. You pay enough to
Ah,
enter,
okay.
and it's worth it. If you get 8th place, you get 3 packs. Something. Yeah, I've gotten. I used to. I had 2 friends, the Asian twins. They're twins who are Asian.
Ah.
That's how we knew them before we knew them. Kind of. We saw
Uh-huh.
them I was in college. We saw them around all the time. It's like, oh, there's those twins. and we became friends with them. Who really liked playing and were very good at it, but didn't care about owning cards. So I would sponsor them. Like I would pay their entry fee into the tournament and get their prizes because they would win all the time.
Oh, dang. Those are good
Yeah,
friends
and
to
it was great because it
have.
would just be a windfall of packs, and it was pretty great.
That's an interesting, like, that's a sponsor, but very differently. That's cool.
Well, I mean, it worked because they didn't want to have a collection really, and
Mm-hmm.
I did,
Mm-hmm.
and they were better than me. So
No, perfect. Great.
it
Make
was
them
just
take the
getting a
test.
discount on on cards. Great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Especially, yeah, if you net more cards for fewer dollars, that's great.
Yeah.
You still
You know,
friends with
occasionally
the
some of those cards are worth a lot of money, and sometimes they're not. But yeah.
I remember the first time hearing that there are certain like collectible cards that were worth all kinds of money. I think it was in reference to baseball cards, but it of
Mhm.
course applies to Pokemon cards, other cards of other types.
Sure, all
And
of
it
them.
just it baffles me to some degree because I'm not a big collector of things and I don't assign a lot of like value to
Yeah.
physical things. Like,
Well, yeah. With Magic specifically too, it was like there are some cards they will never print again. Uh,
oh,
that's why some of them are really especially expensive because they're still tournament formats where you can use those cards. So there's a very finite supply of like Black Lotus, which is one of the best cards in the game. But they will not print anymore because they said they promised to never print it again to like assuage collectors who were
to
worried they'd lose value.
mm-hmm.
Um, but so there's like real physical value to having those cards. You can't compete in those tournaments really without them.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Was there
that
something about a blue-eyed white dragon?
that's a Yu-Gi-Oh card,
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Hey!
and it's mostly worthless because they print those things like crazy. I have a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh cards back early 2000s. I was looking at those values up, and it's like, oh no, okay, this is Blue Eyes White Dragon. If it's one very specific Blue Eyes White Dragon, it's worth a bunch of money, and if it's one of the 15 times they've reprinted it somewhere else, it's not. Of course, that's what I have. It's like
Of course.
a shittier later one.
Huh. Okay. So, what card games do you have collections for? Like if you had to play today, best friend shows up on your door, they're clearly on a caffeine high and they're like, "I must play this game right now," and you're down for it. Like which games could you play? How many could you play?
I mean, probably just Magic at this point because I have like actively built decks around
Uh-huh.
still. I have enough Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards around. They could put something together,
Mhm.
but nothing is still in like playable form. Then there's been a million, not a million, as a kid, like I would just get like a random pack of cards sometimes of other stuff.
Mhm.
Like I have Dragon Ball Z cards.
Oh
I
god,
have
there was
no
a
idea how
card
to
game
play
for
that
that?
game. Oh, there's a card game for it. I've got Star Wars cards. I've never played that game either, and it's just like got some cards.
Huh.
Digimon,
I knew
Monster Rancher.
Digimon, but I was under the impression that Digimon was specifically created to sell merch, more so than the
I
other
mean,
ones were.
it's not as I don't know. It was a cartoon before it was anything else, kind of. Whereas Pokemon was a game before it was a cartoon. Digimon starts cartoon, then goes other ways.
Hmm.
Uh, Digimon was, but I never knew how to play that game either. We tried, me and our mutual acquaintance, Josh, uh, I did that. Any, uh, but we never knew the rules. We are just kind of flailing, just comparing numbers somehow and making it up.
You guys are making it up as you went just to have fun.
I think so. Yeah.
Love it. Oh man. Huh, there's an entire card game playing like realm out there that I'm just wholly
Oh
ignorant
yeah.
to.
And there's a lot of that stuff just is, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic all still exist and are actively being made. A lot of that shit is like defunct now. So those cards really just aren't worth anything.
I'm sorry. I apologize for my ignorance here. Yu-Gi-Oh cards are still being made?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Interesting.
They have a very popular mobile version of that game now. I think I don't engage with it anymore, but like I think they've got an active anime still. At some point, like at some point, they killed off. They moved past the characters from the first thing, and now it's like 5 generations beyond that, and
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I'm sure, but it's out
See,
there.
okay, so hang on. We're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
Did Yu-Gi-Oh have a TV show?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh TV show is it was about a card game.
Huh.
The Yu-Gi-Oh card game is you playing the card game they play in the Yu-Gi-Oh cartoon.
Oh. Was it popular? The comic. The
Yeah,
anime.
sure. Yeah, it was, a popular thing among kids at the time it happened,
Huh.
and still, might be popular. I have no idea. No,
I'm just
it's
trying to
based.
get in my
Yeah,
head. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. I was about to get in my head the idea of watching a TV show where people are playing a card game, and then I remembered that in The Witcher, I think it was, Chris just went and he like found ways to break rules and just play Gwent the whole
yeah,
time and
Gwent was
never
great.
do
Yeah,
anything else.
or like people really liked the Queen's Gambit or whatever. And that's the thing about someone playing chess. Except it's not. It's about other stuff. And Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
was
Okay.
about ancient Egyptian shit going on. There was a bunch of magical shit going on.
Ooh, okay. Magical shit that will get me into a show very quickly. That's fair.
Yeah, like the cards were also somehow there was a company producing the cards actively in the present, but there was some tie to ancient Egyptian
Ooh.
things going on. So some of the cards were from ancient Egypt, I think.
Seems fair.
It was, yeah, and
Cards
like the
could
main
totally hold
character
on
was
that long.
inhabited by the spirit of a pharaoh whenever he plays the card game. Yugi actually is not good at the card game. He has to be inhabited by this weird pharaoh guy who takes over his body.
Is that when he becomes Yu-Gi-Oh? Yugi
That's when
the
he becomes.
Pharaoh?
Sure, maybe I don't remember.
You feel uncertain about that fact.
Yeah,
All right, I need to find somebody and do a DFU on Yu-Gi-Oh. I need to learn more because
it's
I'm
been a
baffled.
while. But yeah, there's like a they. There's a card game tournament on an island that like the host of the company that makes the cards, I think, as that's a big plot for like a season of the show, and then
Huh.
it turns out to be all some scheme to do something evil because something.
Because we gotta
Because
do
like
evil at some point.
there's like cards that there's only one copy of because they're from ancient Egypt or something, and yet they're still like incorporated legally into the game. You can just outlaw, you can just ban them if you wanted to, but no, they're still in the game. And so the
Is that
guy
what they
wants
normally
them, I
do?
think.
When you end up with only a couple copies of something, does it just get banned from the game?
No, no, I'm just saying within the plot line of
Oh.
like there's no reason the people in modern times have to acknowledge cards made in ancient Egypt. Say, hey, no, it's illegal.
Hmm.
I mean, some cards in Magic they banned for being weird and old, for sure.
Oh.
Originally, Magic had a rule built into it that was betting cards. It's called ante. At the start of the game, you would like put up cards that you would lose if you lost,
Ooh,
and
that's how
there are
fights start.
cards. Yeah, so there are cards in the game. They're like, hey, you can if you ante one more card, you can destroy a creature or something. And then now those are all just banned. It's not a thing in the game anymore.
Because they realized too many fistfights were breaking out?
Yeah, and everyone hated it. Like it's just like,
Oh.
hey, this sucks. Let us just play. Like then it makes you not want to play your cards that are good because what if you get fucked over and you lose them?
Yeah, that makes sense. On that note, I was looking up some video game news right before we got on because I was just
Yeah,
curious. And like some guy in Michigan just killed his boyfriend of 10 years over a video game thing. And I'm like, that I've never understood. When people take video games and they go into the real world and are like, I'm going to cause real physical harm to a
yeah.
person, like makes no sense to me whatsoever.
It's a thing people get It's not exclusive video games, I think is the thing, is people
No,
just
it's
do
not.
murder all the time anyway. I, on Twitter, like, yesterday, last night, I couldn't sleep, one of my timeline had said something, like, mildly something that someone took as negative about some guy in some K-pop group, and the people obsessed with that K-pop group were, like, straight up saying that this person should die. And it was barely insulting, the thing the person said, and they're just like, you should be dead now. So
Mm,
people are ridiculous about things.
people are ridiculous about things. That's true. It's not limited to
Yeah.
games. It
Yeah.
is interesting, though, neat psychological fact. In case you're ever a person that is trying to deal with emotions that are bigger than you can handle, actually putting hyperbolic language actually gives your brain the permission to go as far out as you had. So if you say like I am tragically, horrifically, bone crushingly sad,
Yeah.
you've just given your brain like permission, like there is no limit, flood me with sadness. Let's go. Like let's live this way. If you say honestly, I am a little bit sadder than I want to be, and I'm real upset about it. Like I'm grumpy about being sad, but I'm honestly just I'm a bit sadder than I want to be. Like you've just changed the limits on what you actually find what your brain finds acceptable
Mm.
behavior. And so we do this a lot. It's actually an anger management technique of rather than like being insane with rage, instead being like I am mildly inconvenienced. And then your entire emotional state changes as you're no longer like, okay, I don't get to scream and yell and like flip things. I'm mildly inconvenienced. I can calm down.
I think I just have a limited emotional range or something. Like I don't get mad at shit in the way I see people get mad at things that seem just innocuous. Or like when I see a person on a game show like freak the fuck out because they won Deal or No Deal, it's like I can't imagine reaching that level of excitement about him, even though I'd be very excited. Just like we're gonna scream.
You're just very steady.
Yeah. Yeah.
I, on the other hand, am extremely excitable and will hyperbolically bounce all over the radar all the time. And one thing I can't handle getting an award of any kind, any form of recognition, and I turn into a blubbering, simpering, like teen girl, like child. Like it is bad. I am just blubbering and like overwhelmed with gratitude that somebody would recognize something that I've done. It has happened more than once. It is very embarrassing. It's rather hilarious, actually. If you're anyone but me, the person always giving me the reward is like, it's not that big a deal. Why are you crying? And I'm like, I can't help it. I'm so sorry. So then
I
I'm,
don't think people give me awards, so it doesn't come up.
oh, we should give you awards and see what
No, what are you
happens.
getting? What are you getting awards for?
I've gotten a few awards
Like
for like
job.
yeah, at my current
Okay.
work, I actually got an award for innovation.
Oh.
They opened it up and they said, "Hey, if you were gonna wreck our company or make it suddenly better, like if you had executive power, you can make something suddenly better. What would it look like?" And I went up and I made a very compelling and very good argument for something that my company doesn't do well, and I laid out the facts and laid out data because I'm me and I must have data and spreadsheets and graphs. And
Yeah.
I ended up winning second place in a competition, and the reason I won second place is because the person in first, their idea saved millions of dollars, and my idea did not, and so that's totally fair.
Eh.
My idea
Rob.
helped more people, technically.
It was sexism, probably,
It
maybe. I
probably
don't
was
know.
not sexism, no. If I'd come up with the $1,000,000 idea and he'd come up with the one that just helped more people, I guarantee you it would have gone the same. But you're charming. But that's probably going to wrap it up for our podcast today.
Yeah, let's end it on me being charming.
Yeah, you're charming. We can totally end it there. You can get the award for charming today. If you have thoughts about
Yeah.
awards and how you emotionally respond, or you have thoughts about card games, or you really know everything there is to know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering, and you want to do a DFU with me where you tell me about these things, Jojo, you are like still on camera. What are you doing, dude? Oh,
I know. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Look. Just realized they were 10 feet from me.
Turka the what?
This is Terra the Terrible.
Ah,
It's mirrored probably in the camera, but
yeah,
you know.
interesting. Well, if you have Yu-Gi-Oh cards and you want to talk to me about them, put that in the comments. If you have Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Magic the Gathering cards and you want to talk to Jojo about it, put that in the comments. We would love to talk to you.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh cards anymore. I know what Magic cards still are. That I currently understand.
Talk to Jojo about Magic cards. Talk to me about all the rest of them.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't care. I'll still. I just don't know what they're synchro monsters now. I don't know what that means. I just know it exists.
I was about to ask what that means, but you don't know. If you know what a
No.
synchro monster is, please put that in the comments because both of us would really appreciate having that knowledge. We
Yeah.
have. I would appreciate having that knowledge. I'm hungry for knowledge. Bring me information about what do you call it? A synchro monster?
Synchro, like synchronized or something. I don't know.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
synchro, like that. Yeah.
just synchro. So it's not synchro monster, just synchro.
Synchro monster. I think it's synchro monster. Yeah.
If you have the answer to
I
the
don't
question I
know.
just
Tell me.
asked,
Tell me.
put it in the comments. There are also merch links, Twitter links, Twitch links, all kinds of links down there. I think Jojo dropped his mic, so we're gonna wrap it up there. Bye, friends.